Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, I had a few audio issues in yesterday's video, and hopefully they've been fixed for this one. We'll start out by talking about Fallout 4 on PC and the next-gen update. A lot of people have been complaining that the next-gen update has broken mod support. Fortunately, it appears there's a few different ways to downgrade the game to make it compatible with mods again, and one of those ways appears to be Fallout 4 Downgrader. It's available on GitHub, it's 100% free and also open source. So at the time of filming, Fallout 4 Downgrader version 1.0 is the latest update. Now, it's worth pointing out that this may not fix everything, and there still may be issues. I would argue it's super unfortunate that the update broke a whole bunch of mods. I'm wondering if the mods will be updated, or if they're only ever going to work on the non-next-gen update version. Next up, we're talking about jgenesis, which is a cross-platform multi-system emulator supporting a whole bunch of different systems, like the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive, Sega CD or Mega CD, Sega Master System, Game Gear, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Game Boy Color. So at the time of filming, version 0.7.1 is the latest update. We've got a bunch of bug fixes, improvements, and brand new features. One of the big new features is that for Sega CD, CHD files are now supported in addition to Q and bin files. As for a pretty big improvement, if you're on Linux, Linux releases are now provided as an app image instead of just binaries. Next up, we're quickly talking about Nintendo Virtual Boy emulation on the 3DS with Red Viper, and Red Viper just got a brand new update. So at the time of filming, version 0.9.4 is the latest release, and we've got a brand new amazing feature. They've added in save states, and they've also added a toggle for speed up on the new 3DS. I don't know about you, but I find Red Viper fascinating, and I'm kind of wondering why Nintendo didn't have Virtual Boy emulation on the 3DS. It seems like it would be a natural fit. Anyways, this is compatible with all officially licensed games. They play at full speed even on the original 3DS. Next up, we're talking about a very niche handheld, the Playdate. And if you've got a Playdate, you may be interested in this next bit. Now, this is currently a work in progress, but it's called Wipeout PD, a Playdate port of Wipeout Rewrite. And they say so far it is hard-coded to show the attract mode for one chip on a time trial. All graphics are drawn in a simple wireframe mode. If you're curious about this one, I'll drop a link to it in the description below and feel free to check it out. I'm wondering how much this game is going to be improved on, and if there's going to be opponents and possible courses. And on a quick side note, if you wanted to play Wipeout Rewrite right in your browser, you may be able to. It's available over on phoboslab.org. I'll drop a link to it in the description below, and this is what Wipeout PD is based on. Next up, we're quickly talking about emulation on iOS with Delta, and since release, Delta has absolutely dominated the App Store and continues to do so. So if we take a look right now at Delta, it is #1 in entertainment, with a 4.9 star rating with over 13,000 reviews. That is absolutely insane. I mean, I'm not gonna lie here, I'm kind of surprised and blown away at how popular this is on Apple devices. I guess it goes to show how much iPhone users really wanted to emulate. I mean, it's beating out stuff like TikTok and Netflix and Prime Video and even more. Actually, everything. And speaking about emulation and iOS, I guess. Next up, we're talking about getting ROMs off Steam. And Bob Wolf tweets out, so if you get the Rugrats Adventures in Gameland demo off Steam, it just straight up comes with a ROM that you can play on any NES emulator. So if you are curious about this one, I'll drop a link to the Steam page in the description below and feel free to check it out. And on a side note, if you wanted to legally purchase some ROMs, the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis Classics bundle is available on Steam. This did used to contain a few more ROMs. Sega has taken some out. But at the same time here, there's a pretty decent collection of games. Next up, we're quickly talking about freemium arcade emulation project TeknoParrot, and TeknoParrot had a couple of announcements. The first one here, Chrono Regalia version 1.3 is now emulated. And secondly, TeknoParrot now supports Wasteland Racers 2071. I'll drop a link to both tweets in the description below and feel free to check them out. And last up here, this is more of just a fun one. On the community tab on this YouTube page, I posted an image. I said, guess the OS, level easy. And the responses were mostly spot on. Someone says it stands for subscribe to Mr. Sujano, which is 100% correct. And someone guessed it was a System 76 wallpaper, so it was Pop! OS, also 100% correct. I guess I shouldn't have been surprised with the keen eye from most of you. I'll do another one again in the near future. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff, but you might see her in the outro. Let me know your thoughts about anything we talked about today in the comments below. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos, don't tempt fate, save your state.